Hey, I was looking back over these videos and realizing that most of them are beanie hat videos where I'm trying to stay warm and cozy because it's wintertime, man. And except when I went to California, it was warm, got up to like 75 degrees. That was awesome. Well, we just had a fun snow day, family, cousins, and just was having some. I've been thinking quite a bit lately about being grateful and perspective, putting things in perspective. And, one thing, just turning down the air there, I don't know how loud it was. One thing that I've noticed in conversation when you're discussing the world or problems or culture, and if people are complaining about something, and if somebody or you or me, anybody tries to jump in and say, hey, well, it could be worse, man, people are starving in Africa, or that sort of thing, that you say to try to put things into perspective. It's annoying when people do that because the immediate reaction is, well, are you trying to minimize, my suffering, my pain, my concerns, my worries? Are you dismissing them because somebody somewhere has suffered more or had worse things happen? And so, you have to be careful with that. However, it is, if done right, it is extremely valid because much of our angst that we have is because our expectations are out of whack and our perspective is out of whack, where we have a hard time gauging our experience compared to the rest of humanity. And it is important to do that because you can't compare yourself to some sort of utopia. You can't compare your wife or your husband or your spouse to some sort of imaginary perfect human being. You can't compare your country to some sort of magical utopian place that doesn't exist in your mind. Because if you do that, you will never be good enough. Your situation will never be good enough. Your spouse will never be good enough. And your country will never be worthy enough or good enough. So you have to compare, if you're going to compare at all, to the history of humanity and a big, wide perspective of human beings all over the world, what they've experienced, what they haven't. Only when you do that can you more accurately see what you're experiencing. Your country and its actions and behavior and history compared to others. It's the only fair way to do it. So I was just thinking about that, thought I'd share that. Be careful, because it's easy for people to get irritated at that because they don't want to feel like you're marginalizing or minimizing their pain or their complaints or what they've been through or what their ancestors went through or whatever. So you got to be careful about the way you do it, but it is extremely valid to do it, and it actually probably is the most proper way to analyze who you are, who your country is, what your experience has been compared to humanity and not some fantasy or some utopia. So anyway, I was thinking about that. I hope that makes sense, but that's just a little bit of advice, conversational advice, relationship advice. I've made that mistake many times thinking I was doing a good thing, trying to help someone have perspective, and then really what you're doing is often making them feel like you are marginalizing them or what they're saying or what they experienced. And anyway, take it for what it's worth or not worth. Man, I'm looking old. Looking at this video, I'm seeing wrinkles here. Maybe I just need to shave and get a better night's sleep. I'll look better.